Princess Twilight Sparkle, Ambassador of Friendship. Yeah, this is the longest card name in the game right now. By, I think, like 2 or 3 letters, but still, it's a pretty long name. So this was submitted by AppleBeam and was submitted for a very, very specific reason. In fact, all of the cards submitted by AppleBeam were submitted for this reason, and I kind of wish they weren't, but you know, you work with what you got. So what reason was this? This happens to be a card that I accidentally broke. Some people are aware right now that Princess Twilight Sparkle, Ambassador of Friendship, has a slight issue with it. Specifically, if you're trying to use it in if you're trying to use her in conjunction with ancient research. This is a very common tactic. You use ancient research to pay 2, move her to the problem, and then you'll flip her next turn. Here's the thing. Ancient research puts 2 cards on top of your deck, unless you only have a 1-card deck. And Twilight's ability, her flip ability, let's read this carefully. When you put a card on top of your deck, turn this card over. So if you put 2 cards on top of your deck, you turn it over, and then you turn her over again, and she's right back where she started, and you're no better off. Yeah, that was kind of a problem. So I brought this to the attention of the rules team, and they've told me that they're going to change her ability to you may turn this card over, so she will work with ancient research. This was just a slight oversight, and we weren't supposed to spread it around because we found this out right before regionals, and it would have ruined a lot of people's regionals experience to find out that suddenly their main doesn't work the way they expected it to. And yeah, that was kind of a thing. However, this has already been, it's gotten out into the public somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but you know, it happened. Whatever, we'll roll with it now that it's happened. And at this point, I'd rather you guys know. If you've only heard the fact that she doesn't work with ancient research, but you haven't heard that the rules team have instructed us to treat her ability as though it has a may on it. Now you know. So continue to use her with ancient research as you had before you heard this information, because that's apparently how it's supposed to work. That being said, if you're a judge and you decide to go by how it is actually printed, you're not wrong. There is no official errata. This is Facebook errata, not official errata. So you're not wrong, but do keep in mind that it will affect people, and not necessarily in a good way. So I just wanted to get that little PSA out of the way first. Now let's actually talk about this card. So I have talked about Princess Twilight several times before on Cafe, so I think I'm not really going to talk about how to use her mechanically. I literally just did this in the Equestrian Odyssey's mains article. Admittedly, AppleBeam didn't know I was going to be doing that when he suggested this, but it feels a little pointless to talk about her mechanically after I already did it, and did it better with adorable ponies. So if you want suggestions on how to use her and build a deck around her as your main, go read the cafe article. Uh, yeah. If you'd rather not read the cafe article, sorry. Um, I'm sure you can get the basic tips from somewhere else. But yeah. So let's talk about other things. Let's talk about, I don't know. Let's talk about the art. So on the front, we've got basically your standard adorable Twilight. I love it. Everyone loves it. Happy Twilight is best Twilight. Even if she's I'm not quite sure what the scene was. I think she's looking over the cutie map. Um, but yeah, I like this face, and her on the throne is kind of not a terribly impressive picture, but you know, it's cool to respect, you know, the ambassador position and all of that, and it made for a good way of unifying these 6 cards. So, yeah, I mean, it's not tree whisperer level art, but it's definitely not bad art at all. I also I also quite do like I like flavor text on names that starts on one half and finishes on the other half. I've kind of always liked that. The original Twilight Sparkle is one of my favorites. Twilight is not an egghead and all of that. Though the original Rainbow Dash is probably my favorite name for the flavor text specifically. That it's just so good. It's very, very good. Not sure what else to say, honestly. It's kind of just a shame that I really did just talk about her, and I've already talked about her several times before, mostly on Cafe. Though I did also write a primer where I talked about her. So, you know, there are definitely sources you can go to see how to build decks around her. I guess the really, really brief thing is use Ancient Research to almost guarantee flip her. Run maybe Owl or another source of Meticulous or whatever just as a backup. The Aloysius that kind of sort of has Meticulous, but only if you have a purple main, so we'll always have a Meticulous. At least if you're using the Princess Twilight main, which is what we're talking about. And once she's flipped, you almost always want to use her for action tokens. That's basically the gist of it. Sometimes you won't, obviously, but like Vinyl, her power is in giving you resources. Vinyl gives you a card every turn. Twilight gives you AT a turn. You know, get your resources, and then abuse the fact that you have more resources than your opponent. Now, that's the basic gist. But if you want more, go see Cafe. I think then that's going to be about it. And next time, we will be talking about our very, very first resource on the show. And it is going to be also purple, also royal in a way. It is the Canterlot Archives. This is an interesting one. I think tomorrow's is going to be very, very interesting. So make sure to stop by for that one. In the meantime, I'll catch you in the next episode. See you later, guys.